Hi, welcome back to Paige Grows Design. Today I have a holiday project, a Christmas card idea. It is not a new idea, but I've never blogged about it before. If you are on my holiday list, you've received one. But I just recently took a class with Susan Rossiter at susanrossiter.com, and it was a monoprinting class using a gel press and golden open paints, and it really got me started thinking about marbled paper in this project, and I thought I'd share it with you. So some of them I did with, they were paper samples from a company that sold all kinds of handmade papers, and they were just little small pieces and much like this size, and I had so many of them that's what I used them all up. So if you notice here, there are 2 sample pieces on the back side, and then I cut Christmas trees out of the others. But I want to show you first, you'll need some cardstock. I got this really great glittered cardstock just recently at Tuesday Morning. Joanne Fabrics, Michaels, all of those places have a huge selection. And some basic cardstock. And if you're going to do the mono printing method, because you don't have to, you can also use up artwork from your children. So that's just watercolor paper that I drew on and cut it apart. I also used some origami paper, and then you can embellish in the end with milky gel pens or glue and glitter. I did find a source recently with really beautiful marbled papers. I'll show you some of them. And I found this on Amazon from Paper Hues. But this mono printing method that I just learned in the last week, like I said, you need a gel press, and some golden open paints. They have a little slower drying time, golden fluid acrylics, or in my case today, I'm using Liquitex soft body acrylics. You need the gel press and a brayer, and I'll just show you some of the ones that I made earlier this morning. And you could use these as the background, so like what's behind the trees, or you can cut them and make the Christmas trees out of them. I am by far not an expert at this. I've done monoprinting in the past, but this is the first time that I've ever really used gel press, or the second time I've used gel press. If you want some more expertise, certainly go to susanrossiter.com, and I'll include the information at the end of the video for that. And also I found somebody on Instagram who does gel pressing, and she had a plethora of information, and also all of her new projects posted, so I'll also include that as well. But to get started, you'll need golden fluid acrylics or a soft-bodied acrylic, a brayer, and the gel press. Now you also can manipulate the paint with these wonderful do they call them? Color shapers. They're basically like little squeegees with chiseled edges. And apply your soft body gel or soft body acrylic. Just a small amount goes a long way. And then you're just going to take your brayer this can get really messy. So Susan, in her class that I took, she suggested putting some heavy cream on your hands. It makes the paint come off a little easier. And you're going to take just a piece of paper. You can use any paper. You can use cardstock, you can use mulberry paper, you can use newsprint. In my case, I'm using up old decoupage projects. I'm going to place that down on the press. Up and lift. Now what I find, I'm able to just lay these out on the floor in my studio to dry. Susan said that she uses a shower curtain. She lays out a shower curtain to put all the pieces down. And I found that sort of the second layer that came off the press was more interesting than the first layer. And if it's not something that you like, let it dry and just keep using it over and over. Keep putting more paint on it. And I'll show you a couple other things. I'm going to take one of these tools. I'm just going to reduce And although that looks ugly, it will make fabulous Christmas trees. You can even clean off your brayer. Some of my Christmas trees were just pieces of paper that I cleaned my brayer off with. And I'm not going to bore you anymore with that. To clean your gel press, just use warm soapy water and a microfiber cloth. The gel press, if you have any residue left on it, you can use baby oil and the microfiber cloth. I'm back. Now, part of the attraction of the gel press for me too was that you don't have to clean it up. You can just leave it soaking in the sink with some soapy water. So that was a plus for me. Sometimes by the time I'm finished doing a project, the cleanup process isn't very appealing. Now I'm going to show you how I cut the Christmas trees. Like I said, when I first did this project, I used small pieces of paper, and so they were about this size, and to maximize sort of the yield, I cut, let's see, I went to the center, so I just went to the center of the top here, from the corner, with pinking shears, or you can use a rotary blade with a pinking blade on it. But by cutting the tree from corner to the center, you then actually get two trees out of one piece of paper. So then you just piece these two together. And at some point, I started putting two different pieces together. And I cut all my pieces first. I showed you how I cut the Christmas tree with the two halves by cutting from the bottom corners to the top middle. But you can cut out a lot more at one time by taking your full sheet of paper. And in my case, I'm going to make my Christmas trees the height of this in half. So this is going to be my height of my tree. And I'm going to make 3-inch bottoms. So I'm going to go along and just mark at 3 inches. And then from this side, I'm going to go over 1.5 inches. And then from there, I'm going to mark every 3 inches. And I'm just going to take a rotary blade and a guide. And you can still make this a half Christmas tree. So the ones on the outer edge, they'll be cut through. These you need to stack them together. And divide them in half. And there. Easy way to get a bunch of whole Christmas trees all at once. Made a stack of them, and then I started just assembly line method. First gluing a piece of cardstock for the background. And I like to use plate glass picture frames as a weight. And I have several of these, and I just stack in between them. I use heavy books, but it is good. Wait and let it dry in between. And then from there, you can start gluing on your trees. I love this glue too. It's particularly nice when you're doing paper projects. It's Scotch tacky glue. The paper doesn't seem to ripple the same way it does with just regular white glue, which especially when you're working on thinner papers like these are out of mulberry paper, then you notice where the glue is on the back. And it really is just a glue and paste at this point. You could also use a glue stick. Now you can take from your stack of halves, the two look good together. There you go. And they don't have to be even, they don't have to match. If it looks too disparate, what I did was used milky gel pens or metallic pens and drew on top of it. And then also use your glue and draw some embellishment on the trees. And glitter them. I don't know if they sell these anymore, but they're really handy. There's a Martha Stewart section of Michael's, and I also I happen to like eating endive, and endive comes on these little trays, and I've saved those, but they're fabulous for catching the glitter. And that's the project, basically. So easy. Fun for kids, because who doesn't like glitter and glue, for goodness sakes. And like I said, great way to use up your children's art projects, excess paper, and just all around fun. Hope you enjoyed it. Come join me again. Thanks, bye.